Hi, I'm James, and today I'm going to be taking a look at Portal 2 running on the ASUS Transformer Book T100. This is a new Bay Trail Atom based tablet and with dock base, and I'm going to be running through a few different scenes in the game Portal 2 to see how it stands up. This is running 1368 by 768 with fairly low detail settings just to see how the game runs, see if we have a playable experience on what is quite a low end piece of hardware but quite a popular game. Okay, so we've just been introduced to Wheatley and we're now on the move in the first sort of action sequence in the game, an on-rails section where our hotel room cum container is being moved and on our way to the first chambers. As you can see in here, we're getting a bit choppy, but overall not too bad. There's quite a lot going on in this kind of scene, a lot of physics objects moving around, a lot of destruction, and generally frame rates keeping up above around 20 frames per second here in Fraps.
Whose fault do you think it's going to be when the management comes down here and finds 10,000 flipping vegetables? Alright, so no, I hear that one, I hear that one. Okay, listen, we should get our story straight, alright? If anyone asks, and no one's going to ask, don't worry, but if anyone asks, tell them as
you actually get some quite expansive areas in this introduction as well. A lot of the time in the main game you're a bit more closed in. You certainly don't travel as far as quickly, a lot, except for maybe in sort of the Cave Johnson areas.
That we're going to need to get out of here. I think this is a docking station. Get ready. Good news, that is not a docking station. So there's one mystery solved. I'm going to attempt a manual override on this wall. Could get a bit technical. Hold on.
So although frame rates are a little low through this section in the 20s, they're relatively consistent. We're not seeing any big spikes in performance. Without the sort of frame rate indicator there, you probably wouldn't initially guess that things are running a little on the low side. Now as we come into a more enclosed area, you can see the frame rates coming back up into the 40s. We look up to the ceiling and sort of see there, bring them down a bit, but keeping it in the test chamber in the 40 frame per second region, and it's looking pretty good. Now we're moving into chapter 7 of the game, which is the reunion, and here we have some large areas from the old Aperture Science, from the Cave Johnson era. So in here you get away from the sort of original test chambers and into some new areas where we start playing with the different liquids and other . So here actually frame rates are generally quite good. We're seeing around 40 to 60 depending on the scenario. A little lower there, but as we start playing with some of the goos. So even in these larger areas we see we're getting relatively good frame rates throughout. This is the Cave Johnson section in chapter 7, so you have larger, more open areas to explore in here. And we can see we can start spraying around various goos as well in here. And even with that kind of movement around with the physics effects in there, we're still not seeing any real degradation in performance.